has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
I got to be honest, Mike, the Keegan miss right there from about 8 feet was brutal to watch because he's really in these types of Ryder Cups and President's Cups, and you saw him in the playoffs. He was so clutch, like hitting putts from 10 feet and in. I mean, he just missed that thing, and it was hot. That was a steam train going by that edge. I mean, that thing whipped by the hole, so he obviously hit it too hard, but that one's tied now, and the others are all one up. And with 4 holes to go, those are, essentially all up in the air.
It certainly is. They are up 1 in all 5 matches. A few of them, of course, Schauffele and Finau are on the 16th, so only a few holes left. They were 2 up, actually. Benon and Jason Day won the hole before to get it to 1, so a little bit of a comeback working there. A few other things here for you. I think I told you an hour ago when we were starting the Cardinal-Rocky game that, a little bit of a story here. Blackman's last couple days as a Rocky at Coors Field, facing a hack like Gibson today. Maybe we go after a tater for Charlie Blackman. Well, I hope you did, Scotty. Blackman, 2-run homer for the Rockies against the Cardinals just now. So we get him on the board, which is nice to see. Nice job by Charlie Blackman. There against Gibson. That game's wild already at Coors Field. Game 5-4 after 2 between the Cardinals and the Rockies. That is an over right now. And the White Sox, now I doubt, Scotty, with a 38-120 record that they have swept anybody this year. But they are up 7-0 on the Angels in the 7th inning. And they look like they're going to sweep the Angels here at home. So, listen, final week of the season, little happy moment for the White Sox.
How about they're going to go to Detroit now, and what is Detroit's magic number now? 2, I think.
2 is the magic number, and that could be 1 if the Twins lose tonight. Twins lose tonight, and it's 1 going into tomorrow.
They're so hot, 9 of 10 and 5 straight. I still believe it when I see it. If the White Sox can give them a series in Detroit. I don't think so.
Biggest thing for Detroit is, Scotty, as you know, whether the Twins win tonight or not, they need to finish that thing by Sunday so they can hold Skubal for Game 1 on Tuesday against whoever they're playing. They don't want to have to burn Skubal on Sunday to get into the playoffs. They need to have it clinched, Skubal rested, Game 1 against whoever it is, Orioles, Astros, whoever they're going to play. In that wild card series, you want to have Skubal out there game
no matter what. So how about there's no way A.J. Hinch is rolling him out there on Sunday to they're already going to be in it by Saturday.
Right.
It's going to be over. Right. So he's starting Tuesday. There's no way. There's got to be someone else that can take that job and win a game with their bats as hot as they are.
All I'm saying is I think I'm with you. I think they'll have it by Sunday. I'm saying they need to take care of business because if they don't have it by Sunday, you do have to pitch them, and then you don't have them for game number 1 in the wild card round.
I wouldn't pitch them either way. I would not do that at all.
You'd roll the dice? You'd roll the dice?
No way am I. Yeah, I'm going to save him for Tuesday no matter what because that team is not missing the playoffs. Of all the teams, the Twins are in big trouble, mister. That's what's the problem here. The Royals have not played well. They got it done today late, but all those teams are not playing well, and Detroit is. Detroit's the last team I'm worried about. Skubal's going to pitch on Tuesday in the playoffs, and he is the filthiest pitcher in Major League Baseball right now, hands down. If they gave away 1 Cy Young, he would win it. They give away 2. Yep. So he's the best pitcher in baseball. No one, Chris Sale is not better than him. I know everyone may think so because of his history, but he has a history filled with injury and then really great pitching. Skubal's been dominant nonstop. He's just unbelievable.
I agree. He's been great. All right, let's finish this Giant Cowboy game with my tutties for tonight. Everybody loves the tutties. Good. We've been good with the first tutties here, especially with the primetime games. It's been very good. So here's where I'm going. You want to get a little fast start for the Giants tonight, Scotty? You playing
Yes.
the Giants plus 5.5 or 6? Why don't we get a fast start with the guy who has been, without question, their best player? I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought this would be a little closer to where Lamb and Singletary's number is, but Malik Neighbors is 9-1 for the first touchdown tonight. He's gotten it going the last 2 weeks. Back at MetLife tonight. Maybe the Giants get the ball first, Scott. They can go right down the field and get Neighbors involved. Boom, 9-1 for him for first touchdown. As far as the anytimes, Cooks plus 240 for Dallas. I'm going to get involved with him. Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, I know Neighbors has been the guy, Scotty, but Robinson's been getting a lot of targets and catches as well. He's been the Giants' second best receiver, and it's a nice price for him at plus 380 if the Cowboy defense actually is able to hold Neighbors down a little bit. So I like Wan'Dale, and I had to throw this in because of Daniel Jones's primetime history and history against the Cowboys. I haven't thrown this to you yet this year. First time in 4 weeks. Defensive score 5-1 for the Cowboys tonight.
I can't even imagine you're doing this to me. Now, look, I can't even fathom that Neighbors is 9-1 to score the first tutty. I mean, he is option A on every play. I don't understand. Like, you know, I know Dayball, and I would think, Mafia, you know, it's true. We've been around him. We know what this guy's like. He loves eating. They obviously gave him shots in his stomach to get rid of all that weight, but he's not stupid. The guy knows what to drink with his pasta, the type of Chianti he's looking for. Don't tell me that guy's dumb enough to realize that he can throw the ball to Neighbors at all costs on every play. Like, get this guy the ball, score touchdowns. Like, your entire franchise right now has one great player. That's it. They have one great player on the team. Why not give him the ball? 9-1. Are you kidding me? That these people think that can't happen first? How many games have you hit the opening scorer on before people are going to believe?
We've listen. It's hard to do the first score, but we've been very good with it.
I think it's hard.
Through 3 weeks. It's hard to get the first touchdown score, but we've done it here in these primetime games. We've had a lot of success with the primetime games, so hopefully we get another one in for us tonight. So there you go. The Cowboys and the Giants getting ready.
Missed a 3-footer.
Wow.
The humanity.
Wow, he misses a 3-footer here, and it looked like Ben On missed a long putt too right before him, Scotty. So I think this one's going to still be one up.
Ben On solo?
Ben On solo, yes. So this is Finau. This was to win the hole, and he did miss that, like you said. So they're going to split this hole, it looks like, and they'll still be one up going to 17. So 2 holes left. So if they can win 17, Scotty, they'll win the match. Schauffele and Finau coming down the stretch with the first. USA is up in 4 of the 5 groupings. The only one tied is Wyndham Clark and Keegan Bradley are tied with Bezuidenhout and Pendrith, but they still have a ways to go. They're on the 13.
X-Man, a 3-footer. It's one after the next.
Yeah, the X-Man missing them as well. Listen, wind's picking up a little bit more out there. The back nine's a little bit harder. These last few holes are a little bit harder than the rest of the course at Royal Montreal. And there's stress. There's definitely a stress element to it here. Now I did not see that one. So you're ahead of me. You're very far ahead of me when it comes to the President's Cup. I saw Finau miss the first one. I didn't realize he missed the second one after that. So that changes things. And you're telling me the X-Man misses his as well from short range?
He just missed it. And it's a boy
so
dance party. So
they should be tied now, right?
It is. It is
tied.
It's a boy dance party.
Yep. So Schauffele and Finau tied with Jason Day and Ben On as they will go to the 17th hole. And whose was that just hit the stick from the other side of the water? Man, what a shot that was. All right, that was Bezuidenhout. We'll come back, Scotty, and we'll start to get into some of the other games for this weekend, including the Bills and the Ravens Sunday night primetime game of significance that we have. Yes.
it's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Brian Daboll has been feeling it. He's in a foul mood. He's having stare downs with Pat Leonard and everything else.
John Mara wants Brian Daboll to go and get the next quarterback. They tried to get the next quarterback. We all watched it on Hard Knocks. They couldn't end up with Daniels. They couldn't end up with May. So they said, okay, we'll run it back a year. We'll go get Neighbors, and we'll tolerate.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
This is a conundrum for Luke. I am your father. Tonight he's, as I mentioned, going to Snoopy to see the G-Men, Big Blue and Cowboys. And then tomorrow he will not be here because he's going to a huge wedding. And as you know, at weddings, the goal is to drink and eat expensive, delicious, free food and booze at all costs. So, like, what you try to do is you go, and I'll have, like, somewhere in the neighborhood of 200, 300 shrimp cocktail, chunks, prawns, as I like to call them. And then you have as many high-end cocktails as feasible to, store up. I think it's like a look-ahead type thing. You go to a wedding, eat a lot of delicious food. You got prime rib, and you got you got all kinds of desserts, and there's and then you got a top shelf booze, so you can just eat and drink and just go hard. And he's concerned about being able to go to the game tonight and have a couple of stiff drinks at the Giants game because, because they have no chance and they're going to get blown out by the vaunted Cowboys, and it's just going to be so automatic that what you want to do if you're in a bad situation and they're down 40-50 is what all the big time high talent TV people are saying. That you're going to want to drink. I told him at least 2 32-ounce beers and have one double cocktail with a lime. And you know what I mean? Like a salt check, a little liquor lime. Can he go hard tonight and still show up ready to perform at the many serving tables and booze bars at the wedding?
He is young enough and unattached enough that he will be able to pull both of them off with ease. That's not going to be a problem for him. He's young. He's got nobody he's got to answer to. He's going to be good to go at both of these events. There's no question in my mind. I wouldn't expect anything less out of him tonight.
He's high on the board in terms of good to go anyway, as we've heard before at the, it was the NBA draft show that he was the highest on the board in terms of the sportsbook odds for being good to go. And that could be any number of things, with women, with jobs, with betting, with booze, with affairs. He's been rated. He went, like some people moved and shuffled the deck. A couple people, Seamus was one of them. Famous Seamus was gone. John shames on you for 6 weeks for trying is who I'm talking about. Not that other dork we used to have on this show with his, trucker hat on once a week giving me his behind the window advice. Was that the worst thing we ever did on this network? Are we on the air right now? Oh, that guy was awful. Can we just start talking about people that suck for a minute around here? And then then I just saw Luke shoot up to the top of the odds board. Once we got rid of the hacks, and Shame's not one of them. That other loser, Sheamus. And you can tell my Setso, that fat piece of Shaq, I'll beat his ass. How's that sound? I ever see that dude? I'm starting up with him. I don't care where I am. Are we on the air? Don't talk bad about people that we're not in bed with anymore that we're supposed to knob. What? Is that, is it breaking up, Carver High, on your end too? I'm starting to have a...
Yes, I didn't hear anything that you just said. These guys went to 17. Only one of them put it by the stick on the par 3 17th, and that was Xander. So he will have the best chance to possibly win that hole for the United States as they come down the stretch here. All these guys put it on the stick on 14 in the Scheffler group. They move on. All right, Sunday night football. Bills and the Ravens, Scotty. Again, for the 970th time since March, Josh Allen has had to speak about Stephon Diggs. I know he doesn't want to do it anymore, but every time he even makes a comment about the receivers that he has now, everybody needs to run and think that he's talking or taking a shot at Stephon Diggs, which couldn't be further from the truth, Scotty. I know you heard him the other night. You know, it's nice to have all these guys. Nobody cares about stats. Everyone wants to catch the ball. Everybody. So, of course, everyone has to run with that he's taking a shot at Diggs not being there anymore. So here it is. For the 974th time, Allen says, I'm not talking about Stephon Diggs. Please move on.
It's very encouraging. And, I know there's a lot of people talking out there. Again, I'm not trying to tear down anybody. I've loved everybody that I've played with, and you don't have to tear other people down to build each other up. And, we're building each other up right now, and that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to stay together as a team, and we're really caring about each other. And, everybody in this building's got that feeling.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Whether it's former players, and again, I love 14. I still do. But everyone wants to keep making this thing a thing, and we're so focused on what's going on inside of our building, and that's the only thing that we're caring about right now.
They were right about that thing, and you know it too, Carver High. That guy was lymphoma on that sideline and in that locker room. I don't care what anybody says. There's something wrong with that dude. Okay, so I don't care how good he is. He is the epitome of pain in the ass, and he's just not worth it. It just isn't worth it. After a while, like, I never thought Beckham with the Giants was worth it. It just wasn't worth it. Like, who do you think you are, dude? Like, honestly, like, this is a ultimate team game. And I believe guys like that ruin teams. They really do. All he does is complain and cry and moan and and you name it. He was just constantly, you talk about painful. This guy was so painful. I will never agree with anyone that says it wasn't a thing, because I used to see that kid's face on the sideline taking Shaq from this guy. And this guy just gave him Shaq week after week, just kept yelling and screaming at him on the sideline. And after a while, I'd sit there and watch Allen like this. He'd be looking off to the side like, I'm not even listening to you anymore, dude. You're not my teammate. And I don't believe for 1 minute he loves Stephon Diggs. Not for 1 minute. I think Stephon Diggs is cancer in a bottle, and you can buy it down at the Stop and Shop. My guy, you can have it. And I'll tell you one thing. He went down there, and what's he doing down there? Boy, weren't they supposed to win every game? I thought they were going to win every game they play down in Houston now. They're the greatest team in the NFL because of the talent, the coaching, the quarterback, and now they got cancer in a bottle. You can have him. The Bills are better off without Stephon Diggs, and I hope people keep bringing it up.
it's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Brew Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Brian Dable has been feeling it. He's in a foul mood. He's having stare downs with Pat Leonard and everything else.
John Mara wants Brian Dable to go and get the next quarterback. They tried to get the next quarterback. We all watched it on Hard Knocks. They couldn't end up with Daniels. They couldn't end up with May. So they said, okay, we'll run it back a year. We'll go get neighbors, and we'll tolerate.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
What would it be like to do a show without Aaron Rodgers on it? I mean, it'd just be like being naked all day and going to work. Just walking in the building, start graving naked, see if you get a reaction from anybody. Like, that's what it'd be like if we went a day without, I think, certain regulars. We have to have Tomlin and we have to have Aaron Rodgers.
To be fair, I didn't do anything with Rodgers the last 2 days. Wednesday and Tuesday, we did nothing on Rodgers. I don't think we mentioned him once. So, and it's probably because they played last Thursday. So I didn't have anything from them playing on Sunday, and they weren't in the building again. But of course, now they are back in the building, and they're playing the Broncos on Sunday at MetLife. Aaron Rodgers, what's he saying this week, Scotty? Well, Jets can't listen to everybody tell them how great they are. Here he is.
Yeah, just like I said, everybody's going to start, whatting us a little bit. I go back to this quote a lot, but Mike McCarthy said our biggest struggle is going to be handling success back in 2006 in Green Bay. And there's a lot to that. I think, when it's easier when you kind of get kicked in the teeth to kind of come together. It's us against the world. It's us against the big bad media who's saying how bad we are. We can kind of come together. But can you still come together and have the same approach when everybody's kind of starting to sing your praises a little bit? I think that's the mark of a great team, is can you handle the success part with the same focus, the same mentality, the same mindset, the same energy when you're starting to get on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, to me, it's execution. Are you going to go out and execute your plan and your plays, and are you going to make mistakes? You're going to fumble, throw picks. You're going to allow the other team to do whatever they want on special teams and let them do whatever they want on offense, run the ball, pass the ball. Are they going to make mistakes? Like, I don't believe winning has anything to do with the media. It's so funny. People, they react to loss. Like if you get a game wrong on this network, you're a bumbling, stupid idiot. You get called every name in the book. You get threats. You get everything else. And I always say on the air, I don't do it on social media. I'm not stupid. I don't invite that kind of hate. All I know is that on here, I don't play. Okay. I mean, like, are you stupid? How stupid are you? What do I have to do with anything? Nothing. I have nothing to do with anything. I don't play in the game. I don't cost teams games because I'm on here picking games or bets or props. We have nothing to do with it. Like, it's so funny to me how these guys always mention you heard him, big bad media. Well, he's got one thing right, big. There's a lot of fat people in the media that go for the free food, and they have no other reason to be there other than they're watching sports and giving you their opinion of it. They have nothing to do with whether teams in the NFL or any other sport win a game ever. ever. Media has nothing to do with anything. But they wouldn't have a sport if it wasn't for the media, because what we do is sell it.
That is precisely true. 7.5 for the Jets this week at home against the Broncos. 39.5 is the total early window, 1 o'clock East kick at Jet Life, as Aaron likes to call it now.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that you've already shown me ad nauseum the number of teams that are getting 6 or more points, what they're doing this year in the National Football League. Roger Goodell, when he has his secret meetings with all the teams and players when they plan the games out, who's going to win them, and they decide when they draw straws who's going to win the games, what the score is going to be. This year they've decided an edict that all games will be decided under 6 points in the NFL. There'll be no games literally ever, except maybe they'll sprinkle one in a week to keep fooling the people that the games aren't fixed. In the National Football League, where you can't win a bet to save your ass, so something crooked's going on. So it's this year's plan from the NFL from day one is any team getting 7 or more points will cover automatically. That's the new normal in the NFL. So I think the Broncos cover the number.
Man, I mean, your boy Finau just hit one into somebody's backyard here in Montreal. I mean, where was he hitting that one? I mean, it's in the fence, this guy. Jeez,
I heard it is that yes. Lady makes the best sangria in Montreal. And if you hit a ball into her yard, you can stop through. She'll give you a Dixie cup with a shot or two of it. And by the time you finish your round, you'll already have a buzz.
Well, they are up 1 on the 18th hole. That was at the 18th tee box where Finau did that. Xander did make that birdie putt on 17. So all the American groups are leading right now with Schauffele and Finau on 18, trying to finish off Ben On and Jason Day to get the first point of the President's Cup.
It really is good golf.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Brew Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Brian Dable has been feeling it. He's in a foul mood. He's having stare downs with Pat Leonard and everything else.
John Mara wants Brian Dable to go and get the next quarterback. They tried to get the next quarterback. We all watched it on Hard Knocks. They couldn't end up with Daniels. They couldn't end up with May. So they said, okay, we'll run it back a year. We'll go get Neighbors, and we'll tolerate.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
A good one in the north this weekend, Carver High at Lambeau Field with the Vikes and Pack.
It certainly is. Big game early in the season in the NFC North. The Vikings, of course, are 3-0, off to a great start. They head to Lambeau to see the Packers, who maybe are going to get Jordan Love back this week. He's been doing a little bit more every week at practice. Either way, I mean, they are 2-0 with Malik Willis as the starter. But here is Kevin O'Connell talking about his Vikings, Scotty. They are 3-0, and kind of a little bit the same thing as what Rodgers was saying before, but not as blunt as he is. They need to keep their focus. Even though they're 3-0, they haven't accomplished anything yet.
My challenge to the team is, once again, last Sunday means absolutely nothing. The first 3 games of the season mean absolutely nothing if we don't start, continuing maintaining our play style. But hopefully soon enough we can start talking about it being the standard of how we play every week.
Well, there you have it. Execution, go do it. All the other stuff is fluff.
Jordan Love, again, this was today's report, Scotty, practicing in pads. Now, again, he practiced in pads last Thursday, and he didn't play. So I still don't know if a lot of this is just a show from Matt LaFleur, sending him out there every week in pads, making the other team think he's going to play. But that's the situation with Jordan Love right now. This is a flat 3 now. Saw some 2.5s early in the week. Maybe the books are starting to believe Love is playing. Packers -3, 43.5.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what to believe other than I still think it's Willis because it's not like he's in pads, but no one's allowed to hit him. So
correct.
If he's got a bad knee, he's not going to be able to take hits. It's that simple. So the risk is not worth the reward of what? They beat the Vikings at Lambeau Field, and then what? He's done for the year because he decided to play and somebody sacked him. You want this guy not to be touched.
And I know this is a division game, and those mean more, as they always like to say. But I think, Scotty, them winning the last 2 weeks without him, I think it just builds them up a little credit where they don't have to play him this week. They've won a couple games without him. They could take a loss. I know you don't want to lose a division game, but I think they can put Willis out there for one more week against the Vikings and make sure that Love is 100% healthy. Your season's still in good shape. You're 2-1 right now. Why rush the guy back if you don't have to do that? That's
they
for sure.
Actually are hard to beat at Lambeau Field.
Yes, they absolutely are. Very hard to do. That's for sure. All right, we've talked yesterday about Kelsey and how he went on the podcast saying, I don't care about stats, I care about winning. Andy Reid, Scotty, has also heard all the narratives this week about Travis Kelsey. Let's just say he doesn't really believe any of them.
I know people are saying that he's old or whatever, has distractions and all this, and the defenses don't think that. And so we have another receiver that plays opposite him that has a lot of yards and catches, and that's how this thing goes. So Trav is fine. He just keeps being Trav. He works his tail off, and he hasn't lost a step and all those things. He's not distracted. That's not the case. People are making sure they have him taken care of by some of these defenses.
Yeah, that makes more sense than all the other stuff, doesn't it? But listen, there is a lot of people that believe that this guy has certainly changed since he started dating Taylor Swift. And that's just all there is to it. I mean, he's famous now in a way that no one ever thought he'd be famous just playing football. Being a football star in this country, I'd say, most people know who he is. Most men know who he is. I'd say half the women know who he is. Now that he's dating Taylor Swift, every woman in the world knows who he is. Every woman in the world knows who he is. Because that chick, she gets more attention than the Pope. I mean, honestly, she's more important than world leaders. I mean, she really is. I mean, you got world leaders now that are just whacked. And this chick is making billions doing concerts and dancing around on a stage and singing and playing a guitar. And she's the most famous woman in the world. Is she not? Who's more famous than her? I want to know.
I would
because
say
that's what this country runs on is fame. It's all about fame and fortune. Otherwise, they wouldn't have all those stupid Hollywood shows on television that are awful. They're awful.
You probably got to put her in the top 5. I would say probably in terms of the most famous people in the world. She's probably there. I mean, if we put in politicians and president dignitaries, things like that. I mean, she's probably up there pretty high.
There are politicians that are in the top 5 that are not popular. That's
true too.
Very famous, and don't get me started. I wouldn't dare say one of their names for fear someone would blow my house up.
No, you don't want that. That's for sure. The Chiefs are -7 this week with a 39.5 total in LA against the Chargers. As it looks like Herbert's doing okay for that one. Wow, what a shot by Xander here, Scotty. Ben On put it on the stick on 18. Looked like maybe they were going to get to tie this match up, but Xander just put it on the stick as well. It looks like the U.S. will take the first match on the 18th hole. What a shot by Schauffele.
Yeah, the X-Man coming through, and then I'll take the points with the Chargers. Every week,
you should take the
I wish for doom and ill will and all kinds of bad things to happen to the Chiefs.
Everybody
Injuries,
does.
Otherwise,
you're not
anything
alone
at all.
in that.
Anything at all. Carts, guys having to be driven off on carts. I'm all for it. I hope they have to bring the John Deere out 6 times on Sunday in L.A.
Wow.
I mean, just all day injuries. Piling up injuries. I already got Pacheco off the team. Now I just need a few more. Like I told you, this is pain day. This is not for fun or anything else. This is survival of the fittest.
Let's check in Atlanta. Yes, you gotta. Let's check in Atlanta with Falcons head coach Raheem Morris. Of course, they're 1-2, huge division matchup with the Saints this week. According to Coach Morris, you learn something new every single week in the NFL. What's he learned so far?
They're all learning opportunities, right? What do we learn from Pittsburgh? You better block TJ Watt, right? What do we learn from Philly? Don't stop. Stay resilient. Keep fighting. You never know what's going to happen. What do we learn from the Chiefs, right? Hey, this game comes down to inches. Not to give you Al Pacino, but it does, right? And, there's still no guarantee we score if we get the first down, but it gives us a lot better chance to. So, every single thing is a learning experience, and Josh is looking at me like, oh, man, that was pretty good. But that's just the truth of the matter, right? And then, you better go out this week and you better prepare for the Saints, because you go look at it and say, our opponents are 8-1. These guys are 2-1 or whatever they are, right? And they have been absolutely blowing their doors off for people or playing a close game. And, the league is the league, and it will be that way every single week.
I guess there's no arguing that.
The league is the league. That's a good one by him. The league is the league. The Falcons are -1.5 against the Saints with a 42.5 total. Early window on Sunday, 1 o'clock East.
Yeah, I guess I think the Saints are a better team than the Falcons. I think the Falcons get in their own way too much. I mean, they had that game won, and they blew it. They turned the ball over. It's that money time mistake in the fourth quarter that always kills you. I mean, when is the last time you saw a team make mistakes in money time and win? They just don't.
They don't. I will throw this, though, out there, though. Something to keep in mind for the Saints this week. Alvin Kamara didn't practice yesterday. Hip and rib issues. He was back to practice today, but in a limited manner. So we keep an eye on Kamara, Scotty, because obviously he's been very good for them over the first couple weeks as well. That would hurt the Saints' offense.
So you're saying he's not playing?
They have not said that. He didn't practice yesterday. He was limited today, so he hasn't had a full practice. We'll see if he does tomorrow, and then they'll make the designation.
it's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
Brew Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Brian Dable has been feeling it. He's in a foul mood. He's having stare downs with Pat Leonard and everything else.
John Mara wants Brian Dable to go and get the next quarterback. They tried to get the next quarterback. We all watched it on Hard Knocks. They couldn't end up with Daniels. They couldn't end up with May. So they said, okay, we'll run it back a year. We'll go get neighbors, and we'll tolerate.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
How about your boy, Smylie Kaufman, always popping up around here and has rock star top shelf status? How about Smylie on what the international team needs to do to win at the President's Cup, brought to you by Skin Flow Recovery Pen.
What needs to happen for the international team to win this thing?
Okay. Are you Judge Holm here?
Yeah, I'm.
Or you Judge Smales, sir?
I could be Judge Smales. I could be Judge Holm. I could be Judge Hume. I could be any of the above. I could be Judge Judy. You name it.
Well, Your Honor, this is going to be a tough sell, but bear with me as
you
I
got
have
your little lawyer pen. I'll get my gavel out. We'll wrap the gavel.
As I do have a couple of things I'd like to get to here in this bit. First off, this President's Cup is not in the United States. And I think the jury, the judge need to remember that this is not in the United States. Hard to win on foreign soil. And one thing I'd like to bring up is let's look at the points that have been accumulated on foreign soil. Let's add them up. Let's see how dominant the U.S. has really been. Okay. What do you think that point difference is?
I think it's a lot less on the road than it is at home.
On foreign soil, 98.5 points has been accumulated for the U.S. side and 95.5 from the international side. So we're talking razor thin lines here. If we go back to just Royal Melbourne, how close they were, they came off. It's the best start the internationals have got off to. They've been down in that first session 8 times. The only time was at Melbourne, in which they got off to a 4-1 start. Quail Hollow, that team was, from an official world golf ranking perspective, the worst international team that they've assembled. A lot of that had to do with Live Golf. Guys that were way down the list ended up making that team. This year, that team was 32 points on average behind the United States. This year, it's closer to 20, which is actually right around that 2019 number when we're talking about comparing the official world golf rankings between the two sides. Now, there are some overwhelming numbers when it comes to just the rankings of these two sides. But the one other thing I want to mention just from, outside the international side is that the rookies on foreign soil, the United States rookies, I should say, are 45, 64, and 19. So these guys, they have 4 rookies on this team, only 2 for the international team. So there's a way in which now we're talking about international soil in which the U.S. is already, they're not dominating on foreign soil. They are winning, but they're not dominating. And now you have 4 rookies that are new to the President's Cup. So that's kind of just some numbers I wanted to throw at you. But how is the international team going to do this? Well, we're going to need a lot. We're going to need a lot from our stars. Let's go to what we saw at the Ryder Cup. Like, why did it seem like the European side was so dominant? John Rahm, Victor Hovland, Rory McIlroy, their stars showed up. They're going to need their stars to show up to give them points. And to me, their stars need to be Hideki Matsuyama, Corey Connors, and then some combination of either Jason Day or Adam Scott. Like, you have to have, of those 4 guys, you really need them all to have solid President's Cups. But then you're going to have to find something from cast of characters of who's going to be the guy to take that leap into, potential President's Cup leading point getters. And there's the next group of guys that I think that if they have really nice weeks, that they can build off of, maybe like a Tom Kim from the Quail Hollow, how well he played. He would be a guy. I think you have to have one guy between Mackenzie Hughes and Taylor Pendrith to have good weeks. You can't have Corey Connors and Taylor Pendrith go 0-4 like they did at the President's Cup. I think if those 2 guys, or just the Canadians in general, have good President's Cups, we're talking about now a Korean side who I feel as strong of any of the groups of where these guys are from, with Siwoo Kim being a ball striker that he is, Tom Kim we've already mentioned, and then Sungjae Him, right? Like, Sungjae is a guy that absolutely is a killer, and then Ben On as well, who's been a bit of a silent assassin this year. So the way I frame it, Your Honor, is that the United States, although they look strong on paper, their world ranking looks strong, I still feel like there's rookies on this team. There's plenty of star power in the international side. They do need it to show up. They need their stars to play well. They're going to need some guys to the combination of making these picks like Mike Weir made with Mackenzie Hughes for his putting. He's got to putt good. Min-Woo Lee with the driver. He's got to drive it good. Like, we can't have these guys' superpowers not show up. But if they do show up, I think there's an opportunity for this international team to win. And I rest my case.
And there you have it. Thanks to Skinflow Recovery Pen for their support, and Smylie and friends, the judge, jury, and executioner there. I'll say this, the U.S. is winning today. So today's over. They're going to win these matches one by one. I just saw Adam Scott with the worst putt in the history of golf. I don't know what that was. What happened there on that putt? He had to. What was that? He was 50
I just
feet
saw
short on a 50
yeah.
footer.
I think that he obviously, you could tell there's a big downslope there that heads down. And I think he kind of tapped it thinking I'm going to catch the hill and it's going to go down, and it just never grabbed the hill for him. I need Morikawa now, Scotty, to make this putt, and that would finish that match off. I picked up Morikawa and Tagala earlier live when they were down 1 in the front 9. So we're looking for a nice live hit here with those 2 guys if Colin can make this putt here and finish this match off.
Yeah, I think I like those odds. I like the chance of that happening because I'm seeing the pressure here ratcheted up, and it's just one miss after the next. Now, Scott came back and made that second putt. He did nail it after the horrible missed putt, so it's crazy in that.
it's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was Lincoln! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Brew Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA. That being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Brian Dable has been feeling it. He's in a foul mood. He's having stare downs with Pat Leonard and everything else.
John Mara wants Brian Dable to go and get the next quarterback. They tried to get the next quarterback. We all watched it on Hard Knocks. They couldn't end up with Daniels. They couldn't end up with May. So they said, okay, we'll run it back a year. We'll go get neighbors, and we'll tolerate.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
I look forward to hearing Zach Taylor talk his way out of this hole that the Bengals have dug themselves into.
Yeah, we gave you the grim numbers yesterday, Scotty. Only 6 times out of, I believe it was 230-something teams that have started 0-3 have ended up making the playoffs. Here is Zach Taylor talking about his 0-3 football team.
I'm really just excited to get back. New opportunity for this team to prove themselves, and this is a very humbling league, and there's a lot of ebbs and flows, and right now we're on the downside of that, but I'm encouraged and excited to see these guys put their best foot forward and get back on the bright side of things.
Yeah, I'm done listening to this guy. I really am. Like, this guy, and I'm telling you, I thought it was some of the worst coaching I've ever seen in my life in that Super Bowl, and since then, this is about Burrow and Chase. There's no one else on the team. They got the one guy what's his name, Hutchinson. They got one. They really don't have any players that anybody cares about. I mean, honestly, I've been hearing about how great they are for years now. They're just so great. They've never won Shaq, ever. Not once ever. Not once ever do they matter. They do not matter. They are 0-3, and we're still listening to this guy talk about Jesus. Okay? I just want to see the brightest days and skip to my Lou. I just flowers for everybody. Tulips, preferably. I mean, honestly, these are grown men. We love each other. Shut up. Honestly.
Well, let me ask you this. Do they get off the deck on Sunday in Carolina against the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, and the Carolina Panthers? -4.5. Bengals are road favorites with a 47.5 total.
I mean, honestly, if they lose this game, I'm going to just find such great joy in it. I may have to stop by the church and light a candle for the Panthers and the Red Rifle. I mean, they beat the Raiders. Why not? I mean, like, I'm sure, how about all those people in Circus Survivor that took the Bengals when they were 0-2? The whole thing got wiped out. So, I bet everyone thinks they're going to win this game too. Automatic. It's an automatic done deal.
I think we have now found out through the first 3 weeks of this season, there is absolutely nothing automatic in this league. Nothing automatic. So everybody can say it's a done deal. 0-3, 0-2. They're gonna. How could this team can't possibly go 0-3? This team can't possibly go 0-4. This team can't. Guess what? They can. We've seen it all 3 weeks now. Every week somebody wins that isn't supposed to win. So I'm with you. Anything can happen here in this one. Next, we'll finish the NFL with this. Of course, the Texans got smashed in Minnesota last week, and they really haven't looked good the last couple weeks. I know they beat the Bears at home the week before that. Now they have a division game, Jacksonville coming into their place. Here's D'Amico Ryans. We're washing away the Viking game.
Last week we didn't play well. At the end of the day, that's all it came down to. We didn't play well. We had some good moments where we executed, made some nice plays, but they were negated by us. So it's very hard to win, again, when you got the Texans and the Vikings playing against the Texans. That's pretty hard to win that game. So once we get the Texans out of the way and we just go focus on our opponent and we handle us well, then we'll be just fine.
That's when they lose, their owner makes them do the presser in a tent outside the building. No air conditioning or anything in H-Town. They make them suffer, and they got to work off a generator. You could hear it blowing in the back.
Minus 6.5 for the Texans now. This was 7 yesterday, so down to 6.5, 45.5 the total. Man, the Jags have looked bad, though, Scotty. They've looked real bad.
I mean, they look like they're ready to mail it in already. The old Willis interview, I got paid every week. That's the old, I don't care what happens. Just give me my money. I don't even care if I'm a backup. Just give me my money. I mean, the guys that make $5 million standing on the sideline, chewing gum, and maybe a cop in a pouch. You get a little pouch of tobacco in there, just a pinch between my cheek and gum. Give me full tobacco pleasure. I think if I'm getting paid that much money, I don't care. I think Jacksonville has thrown the season. It's already over. I mean, they're looking at number 1 draft pick. I mean, they said it was the Pats. It's already the Jags. Worst team in the league.
Their season's over before they even make their yearly 2-week trip to London, right?
Yeah.
They go play those 2 games in London in October. They're going to be finished before they even have that. Washington running back Austin Eckler won't play this week. He's got a concussion. Bill Belichick says the NFL should retire Jim Brown's number 32 league-wide. Yeah, why not? Retire 32 league-wide. I don't have a problem with that.
It's not the worst idea I ever heard. I think that that might be something they should consider.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.